All right. Good evening, everyone, or good morning, everyone, or wherever you are in the world. My name is Pavel. Unfortunately, Alina today isn't able to present, and I will be stepping in for her and talking about an exciting topic about how Metis will change the NFT landscape. I'd like to begin by sharing my screen for the presentation. And hopefully people can see the screen right here. I'm going to assume that everyone will, or everyone does. So how Metis will change the NFT landscape. Before we begin, I want to mention quickly regarding the agenda. So today we're going to talk about Metis, some announcements, upcoming hackathons, and different release dates. The NFT landscape. We'll do a previous Q&A recap, as well as finalizing everything with a Q&A session where we will answer all of your questions. Just a brief disclaimer, this is not financial advice. This is purely technical, an analysis, and a presentation. Now, I'll let you know when to get your phones ready, but there will be QR code scans. If you're joining us for the first time and you haven't joined the Telegram already, we do post updates and we will answer questions from the Telegram. We're pretty active in there. So please join our community and hope to see you there. Make sure you're also subscribed. We do have a newsletter, which we send updates to, technical progress, as well as different release dates for our different products. So to start, to talk about Metis. Metis is a platform where we aim to make Ethereum more usable, scalable, and secure. We utilize the security of Layer 1 Ethereum with the added benefit of being a scaling solution. We are much more than just a scaling solution. We aim to be usable for not just current blockchain developers, but also developers that are not familiar with the blockchain space. We aim to be that connector, to connect people from the Web 2 world to the Web 3 world by making an easy to use technical and organizational platform. To list the different use cases, now this is just a start. I want to mention that anything that you can do on Layer 1 Ethereum, you will do on Metis. This is just a small subset of the things that you can do. With Metis, we make transactions very cheap and very fast. So with this leverage for making Ethereum usable and scalable, you can create DAOs, DeFi, DApps, NFTs, etc., and more, much, much more. Just to give a brief overview, we are an optimistic rollup. We use optimistic rollup technology. So what this means is that we are not a side chain. We are not a separate chain. We build on top of Ethereum. We utilize the security of the Ethereum network, but we provide a scaling solution. What does this mean? What is an optimistic role? Essentially, we take all the transactions that happen on Layer 2, collect them all, and all of the transaction fees that come from all of those transactions on Layer 2 get collected, batched, and posted as a single transaction on Layer 1. Now, optimistic in optimistic rollups means that every single batch is treated as true until proven otherwise. Using verifiers and validators, we are able to ensure that all the transactions that occur are correct. For withdrawals to layer 1, so again, we're not a separate chain, not a side chain. We aim to have layer 2 connected to layer 1 so that you won't know what the difference is, except the speed and the cost. So we aim to have that consistent ecosystem and environment. For announcements, we are launching everything is happening in September, and very, very quickly. We are launching our public testnet. It's live in September, and we'll tell you the exact release date. With the bridge, we have developed a bridge. We will release it in September to allow bridging of Metis tokens from layer 1 to layer 2 and vice versa. We will release a DApp creation tool. What this means is that you are able to create a DAO, an organizational structure that is capable of organizational processes. So this was previously mentioned during the previous presentation, but essentially people can join your DAC and they will be able to leverage certain business processes within. Finally, the DAC mining pool, and this was again mentioned during the last week's presentation, where you're able to stake Metis tokens to create your DAC and get other people into that DAC to leverage those rewards. Another announcement, big announcement, the Metis mainnet is coming in October. So stay tuned. It's coming. With the hackathon, we are participating in ETH Online, which is in 3 days from now. So please join ETH Online. We have a specific sponsorship. So please join, take a look, build your solution on Metis. And now we also have a Metis Hackathon happening in October, from October 2nd to 30th. We have different rewards categories with a total prize pool of $1 million in Metis tokens. So please check out all of the categories and see what fits for you. Now, the NFT landscape. When thinking of NFTs, people tend to think of many different things. But I think that one of the key points that we see in NFTs is the art. We see cool, collectible items. People own the content that they purchase. But NFTs can be much, much more. They can be art in terms of collectibles, but they also can be tickets, using NFTs to gain access to certain content. They can be used as a representation of real-world assets. So things that are in the physical world. If you own that NFT, you own that plot of land. If you own that NFT, you own the deed to the house. This can apply to many, many, many different things, as well as reputation tracking, something that we're currently working through. This can represent an identity, a person, an ID. There's many, many more use cases of NFTs. And with this, it's a very important consideration to make when designing a platform that's compatible with NFTs. There is a big problem with NFTs. Currently, most NFTs are sitting on layer 1 Ethereum. What this means is that it's an ecosystem where it can cost $10 to create an NFT, or it can cost hundreds of dollars to create that NFT. It's very limited. This means that it's not worthwhile to create those NFTs because of the cost and the speed. So many use cases get put to the side. Now Metis is aiming to solve this problem by providing a scalable solution for fast transactions as well as cheap transactions. But there is a problem. They're located on different layers. So what's the biggest problem? NFTs are not able to be transferred between layers. We can wish it, but by this definition, you can't take an NFT from one to put it to another until now. So we create an NFT on layer 1. We create an NFT on layer 2, Metis. The NFT on layer 1 is itself, it's unique. The NFT on layer 2 is also unique. Now, when looking at these two, I want to relate the gold aspect. So layer 1 Ethereum NFT is like gold. Now, gold is both heavy, it's very expensive to transport. So what do we use as a form of making it easier to transact? We use tickets. So on layer 2, we make it very cheap and easy to have that gold be transactions very fast using those tickets. That ticket is worth exactly that amount of gold. Discussing what it means from layer 1 to layer 2, transferring of NFTs. The current process involves taking that gold and putting it into a vault. You lock it, and it's locked in a smart contract. This then creates an equivalent ticket on the other side. And this ticket is worth the exact same value as that gold that you put into that vault. This allows you to make thousands of transactions that are very, very cheap and processed very fast, since it's a ticket and not a whole truckload of gold. So you're able to make those transactions very, very fast and effective. Now this makes sense. And then when you want to withdraw it, you take that ticket, you redeem it, it gets burned, and you get that equivalent amount of gold back. Now this makes sense if you already have the NFT on layer 1. This process makes perfect sense. But remember when I said that creating that NFT on layer 1 is very expensive. It can cost tens to hundreds of dollars, or even thousands. Some redeem NFTs for thousands of dollars. It's very expensive. Herein lies the problem. How do we make gold out of tickets? So from layer 2 to layer 1. So in this case, what Metis does is that you can create that ticket, you can create that representation of gold without having that gold. Once you create that ticket is worth exactly the same as, put that stamp of approval, say that this is how it is. You withdraw it to layer 1. And this makes it official. So having that, leaving that barrier from having that NFT in the first place, investing into it, but instead creating it cheaply and fast, having fast transactions. And once you're ready to withdraw, you create that golden NFT. Now, this is all very abstract, and there's architectural diagrams, but I don't want to bore anyone. But why is this important? So why specifically is this important? Creating the ticket on layer 2 and then creating gold. Why? Because this establishes an open ecosystem for NFTs. So NFTs now are locked into the platform that they're created. So if you want to create an NFT directly on a layer 2, that layer 2 houses that NFT. But you cannot transfer it back to layer 1. You cannot take that NFT and transfer it back. So with this creates openness. Instead of a walled garden saying that, oh, well, you keep all of your NFT and assets on this layer. No. We want to establish that open ecosystem for interaction from layer 1 to layer 2. So you're not locked down to a single platform. Now, again, very abstract details, but with that being said, we're working on that solution to port those NFTs that are created on Metis to layer 1. Now, we have previous Q&A related to the DACs and the staking program. So these are some of the answers to the previous questions. So what is the main strategy and target product that you think will lead to success in the long term versus a high fluctuation market? So Metis, again, is not just an optimistic rollup. We contain many products to make development and integration more usable, to create that bridge between that gap from Web 2 to Web 3. We have a DAC framework, DAC framework, that allows you to easily create your DAC and allows that organizational management tooling within. There was a question related to the high APY and a risk of inflation. The answer to that is that the high APY is temporary, so it'll decrease as soon as more members join the DAC. Every time a withdrawal occurs, there will be 10% spread amongst all the participants of the DAC. With the last participant, of course, leaving, the 10% would get donated. The rest of the amount of funds would get donated to charity. Integration with other blockchains is a very important and key step. Currently, we are hyper-focused on the Ethereum ecosystem, primarily because it is the hub for DeFi, as well as being the most decentralized and secure solution. We are looking into having additional chains in the future. But currently it will be targeted towards the Ethereum ecosystem. For developers to use the Metis ecosystem, currently you need to have that smart contract development experience. But our vision is to bridge the gap from Web 2 to Web 3. We have created Polis, which allows you to manage both user authentication as well as your smart contract deployments. This would make development easy and allows you to create your smart contract in just one click of a button to create and deploy and to manage. Interoperability between bridges. So as we said before, related to the different ecosystems present, we're looking into first establishing that core bridge between Ethereum. We will look into other bridges in the future. Push factors for the Metis network. We are an optimistic role, which means that we make transactions very fast and very cheap. We also make integration very easy and simple. When you write Solidity, you can take that smart contract code that you've written on Ethereum, and you can make that a question about the gas fees. So related to the Metis price. The gas cost for Metis Layer 2 is related to the transaction fee of Layer 1 Ethereum. If the transaction fee increases, if the gas fee increases on Layer 1 Ethereum, then the fees for the transactions that occur on Layer 2 correlate or decrease. So it's based entirely on the Layer 1 Ethereum gas fee for that transaction. So the main use cases for the token. In the previous presentation, you are able to stake the Metis tokens in the DAC mining event. So what this means is that you would deposit, you would get a return based on the amount that you deposit, as well as the number of participants inside the DAC. That's one use case, but the primary use case is that gas cost. So Metis tokens are used as gas in order to pay for the transactions, as well as the smart contract processing, as well as governance inside the DAC. Now, this is a very good question. We're releasing two types of validators. There are verifiers and there are rangers. So verifiers are unpaid validators. What this means is that they would run a node that would verify all of the transactions. So they would look and see if there's an error, report it, construct a fraud proof, post it to Layer 1, essentially guaranteeing the security of the network. Rangers are essentially paid verifiers. So rangers will have to put in a stake of Metis in order to verify those transactions, and they would get a reward based on the amount of verifications that they have done. So is there a lockup period to the staking? No, you can add or remove at any time. There's no lockup period. So the benefits of creating a DApp versus joining a DApp. You can only create a DApp or join one from a single address. You have to have a minimum of 10 Metis tokens. And the DApp creator would get more based on the amount of people that they would invite. So essentially, if you know people, it would be feasible to create a DApp, get the community members on. If you don't know people, it's better to join a DApp. So does the DApp have any use outside of the Metis ecosystem? So the DAC is a framework. So there will be tools and templates for projects with voting, task management, investing, and other functions involved. So we aim to make this an easy way to create a decentralized autonomous organization, and in this case, a company, a decentralized autonomous company. Make it easy for businesses to come on board and build. Will I get the mining power of people that join my DAC, even if they don't stake Metis tokens? So again, users need to stake Metis tokens in order to join the DAC, in order to create or join the DAC. So more users join, the more mining power there will be. How will the Metis provide good security? Part of who we are. We want to leverage the security of the decentralized aspect of the Ethereum network and build on top of that. So security is one of our core principles. That's why we're working with 2 smart contract auditing firms now, as well as a security consultant, and we are taking it very seriously. Are the staking rewards divided? No, it'll be split based on the amount that the person has staked. So it's not even, it's based proportionally. If your question did not get answered, it will be posted on the qaa.metis.io. There will be answers to all of the questions on there. Please scan the QR code or visit qaa.metis.io for the previous Q&A questions. Again, we have the Metis Hackathon happening on October 2nd to October 30th. Please consider joining and participating. Of course, if you have any questions, join the Telegram channel. We will answer any questions that come up. We are very active in that channel. I think that is the conclusion with that. So remember, please join the Telegram channel, ask your questions there, they will be answered. All right, and that concludes the presentation. I will now take any questions and excellent, okay. Is it possible to create an NFT marketplace or integrate it in the Metis Layer 2 network? Absolutely. So with the NFT marketplace, any NFT, anyone can create that platform to exchange those NFTs decentrally. So currently OpenSea is one of the primary ones on Layer 1 Ethereum, but there's nothing preventing another person from creating a DApp that can do the same thing as OpenSea does, but decentrally, but in a decentralized fashion. Can Metis interact with NFT projects on other blockchains, not Ethereum? Currently, no, but we are planning in the future to have that integration between different blockchains. What are the major inventive commitments that Metis brings to the DeFi ecosystem, and how might they work on the experience of clients in the administration of their assets? So that's a big question, but thank you for asking that. This is one of our goals, is to make creation of DApps and NFTs, to make them easier to create. So what we do is that we integrate IPFS, so interplanetary file system, and we have that ability for users to upload their NFTs and utilize that decentralized storage as well. So again, we want to make it a usable experience. So people can come on board, they don't have to create their own reinvent the wheel. Everything there will be provided in that platform. So that's the value proposition in terms of the inventive commitments, is that we provide those resources for you to develop those applications. What will be the benefits for Metis NFT holders? So currently, Metis itself isn't releasing their NFT. So we aren't releasing our own NFT, but projects that are building on Metis and creating those NFTs, creating their tickets to eventually be withdrawn into more solid gold. Those are the projects that will benefit from this system, this interoperable system between layer 1 and layer 2. Mm-hmm. Can you momentarily clarify how the top achievements that Metis intends to execute before the year? Yes. So, as I said before, we are planning to release the DAC creation tool, as well as the staking in the DACs. And this DAC creation tool will allow you basic voting mechanisms, as well as basic financial rewards, as well as having that sense of the community project tools for the creation of those DAC September and expanded on in the future as well. And what else? The Metis mainnet. Metis mainnet is date. So stay tuned for the announcement as well. Mm-hmm. what would be the vision and innovation that Metis would have in the coming years according to the evolution of NFTs in general? What do we expect from you? So in this case, NFTs are a core part. They're more than just artwork. They are, and as I said in the beginning, they are more than just artwork with tickets, real-world assets, representations, certifications, and other very important use cases. Now, with Metis and how Metis plans to integrate NFTs, we are creating a smart contract template tool that allows you to deploy NFTs using those smart contract templates. So essentially they're parameters that you're able to specify what specific things that you want, what characteristics, what properties of not just NFTs, but NFTs is one of the template contracts as well. So we plan on making things very easy and usable for the bridge between Web 2 to Web 3. So question. How do I identify that what isn't a clone ticket? How can I verify authenticity? That the ticket example is a simplistic representation of what is happening. So that ticket, you're not able to copy it. It's an NFT in its own right. It's hard to explain it in the real world because in the real world you can technically, forge. There's counterfeit items, but in the virtual world, in the NFT world, you cannot forge that NFT. So that ticket you cannot change. You cannot do anything that alters the properties. So in this case, the architecture is developed in such a way that the NFT that you do create on layer 2 is entirely representative of the gold that you create when you make a withdrawal. You will pay a transaction fee, so that fee will be paid later on. It's kind of like you create the ticket here, you make those transactions very cheap, very fast, and then eventually when you want to withdraw, when you want to make it real, when you want to make it permanent, when you want to make it real directly on Ethereum, then you pay that transaction fee and then it becomes permanent and onto the Ethereum network. So essentially, the security is based on that architecture where when you create that NFT on layer 2, it will create that NFT on layer 1. And when you deposit an NFT on layer 1, you get that equivalent NFT on layer 2. Essentially, based on that explanation, that exact ticket that you get when you deposit that can be withdrawn, and you can, that gold that you deposit is still there. You can make those transactions, but essentially the security is baked into the architecture with that. What does Metis think about the boom of DeFi plus NFT association that's causing so much interest in the crypto world? So in that case, I can't speak on behalf of everyone at Metis, but in my view, the boom of DeFi and NFTs show how valuable it is. Show how valuable it is to everyone in terms of their usage, not just in art. Art is the primary purpose for now, but I envision that NFTs are going to be used for more than just art, and having a way to cheaply create, to make those NFTs very fast, very efficient, is essential for other use cases. This opens up the doors to many, many, many types of use cases that can be used, and that bridge between creating that NFT on layer 2, you still have that permanence, that layer 1 stability, and you're able to not just walled garden that they're two different layers. No, you're able to create that NFT on layer 1 as well, and vice versa, transfer those assets. Our goal is to create that open ecosystem so that when you transfer from one to another, that you're not locked into a single ecosystem, that you can move your assets from one area to the other. And again, not locked in. So the question on how big will the fees be? So we estimate that each transaction will cost a few cents and take around a second to process internally inside the Metis network. Now, of course, there might be latency within your own internet connection, but that, again, that's based on the internet connection and not on the Metis processing time of those transactions. So as soon as Metis receives that request to make a transaction, it gets immediately processed in less than a second, and it will cost a few cents for those transactions. Now, depending on the type of processing, of course, that's an entirely different story. If you want to have a big chunk of processing, then that might cost a little bit more, depending on what exactly you are doing. But simple transactions will cost a few cents. In your opinion, what's the best way for newcomers to promote their NFTs? I'm not sure if that's two questions, but there's one following it. I'm getting them all in batches. But anyways, in your opinion, what's the best way for newcomers to promote their NFTs? So in that case, that's up to the individual, that's up to the person that's creating their NFTs. They would promote it and they would distribute it on their own terms. So essentially, you're free to create those NFTs, and those NFTs are permanent. They're located on Metis, but they can also be located on layer 1 as well when you make that withdrawal.
The next one deals with reputational power. How do you make sure that there will be no copyright, I assume, infringements uploaded on your platform? We do not aim for people using and joining our platform will behave correctly and pursue only lawful activities. However, if some unlawful activity as copyright infringement might happen, then you have reputational power. That participant and that DAC will get like a mark, a negative mark in the reputational track. So we are hoping to keep the community safe by overseeing everyone in terms of this very important reputational element from our design. And keep in mind that that is part of why you are requested to stake in order to participate into a DAC, because that way you are showing your commitment to behave lawfully.
Excellent, well put. Thank you, Leah. When we join yes, right there. Are you planning to integrate existing NFT companies and marketplaces into your NFT layer 2 landscape? Yes. So we're currently working on establishing partnerships with NFT projects. We see the value of onboarding these projects, but with our design and with our commitment to having that open ecosystem, I think that the value proposition is key for projects to see that we don't want Metis to be this walled garden that you can only deploy things directly on Metis. No, you can connect it. You're able to have it flow freely and not have any restrictions. So the applications that you create on Metis aren't locked away, but can be instead transferred to back to base Ethereum, and in the future into different blockchains entirely. So a question related to the competition in the layer 2 space. So currently there's a layer 2 boom going on. There's Arbitrum, Optimism, each launching their main nets as well. We are a hard fork of Optimism, but we extend functionality with it. We not only provide our own subset of products, our product line, in terms of the DAC creation tools, the polis, and the user account management, as well as the smart contract creation templates and the IPFS storage, but we also provide a way to withdraw the funds fast, where Optimism takes about roughly a more usable experience. So you don't have to be a smart contract developer to develop and deploy on Metis. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I see the questions in the repo, 200, 400 commits late compared to Optimism. So yes, we did the hard fork of Optimism, but this is, not like we're not bringing any single commit into the public repository. So you will see, like, once we have the release before we have a public testnet, you will see our branch updated, and there will be commits that brought into the public repository. So this is something I see. This is not coming from the developer, probably, this question. So yes. So this is not how it works for the commits. So right, so we changed a lot from the Optimism. So like whatever, if we're late of whatever Optimism is committed, we are not the copy of Optimism, right? So that's a given. So just watch our commits that we're going to be doing before the public testnet launch.
Thanks.
Did you answer the question? Like, are you planning to compete with Polygon? If yes, when do you expect Metis ecosystem to compete with Polygon already established ecosystem? So we are like, say that we're not comparing apples and oranges, right? Our project is different. We are connecting projects and people together. And then we also provide very low entry to the projects, providing them IPFS, providing them single click smart contract deployments. So that is very different from what Polygon provides. And Polygon, again, is a commit chain. It's not a layer 2. So we are completely different tech, completely different ecosystem. So and our offer is completely different from what Polygon is offering. There we go.
So the question why we choose NFT and why do we choose NFTs in Metis instead of other layer 2s. So with Metis, we provide the IPFS storage as well to create those NFTs, to have the data and metadata all within that ecosystem. We also are, again, this whole presentation was about the fact where we're striving to create that openness. So currently, if you build an NFT on another platform, it's locked in there. So you can't make a transfer of an NFT from Arbitrum to layer 1 or Optimism to layer 1 or Polygon to layer 1. But we want to establish that architecture to make that aspect of transitioning that NFT from layer 2 to layer 1 seamless and effective, so that you can make that, you can create it on layer 2, but also have it.
All right, so the question, what is team's favorite features within the Metis ecosystem? Yes, my personal favorite are community mining and builder mining. So this is something that Metis tokens is released in a decentralized way as the projects performing their transactions on Metis. So this is my favorite one. So basically, you bring your project, you run your transactions and you earn from it, right? So that's the one. And another one, of course, the community mining is you create your DAC, you get Metis tokens for it, right? So you join the DAC, you join DAO, you get Metis tokens for it. So this is my favorite part. I'm not sure if this is kind of everybody else is on the team, but yes, I just leave it to them. So what is their favorite part?
If I can say so, my favorite part is the whole idea of the DAOs, because this is what will make us help everybody jump into the blockchain space. And we are enabling new businesses to get together, meet, and work for the benefit of the whole ecosystem.
All right, so when Vitalik guessed AMA? Well, you have to ask him via Twitter. As simple as that. Yeah, right. So I don't see. So we're 5 minutes before our time runs out. So I guess we just answering like the last question, and then we wrap it up. All right. So just Pavel, team, select the question that you think.
Sure.
Is good.
This is relating to the use of an existing DAC and its mining power. Will it be possible to use my existing DAC and its mining power as well as the Metis NFT from Metis Tribe? Yes. So the Metis Tribe, so if you have an NFT from there, we did a campaign some time ago in April to rebuild the Tower of Babel, and it went very successfully. If you do have that NFT, you're able to use it to increase the mining power of the DAC. So yes, you will be able to take that Tribe NFT that you've created, that you've redeemed, and you're able to add additional mining power to the DAC.
And this shows our commitment to our early adopters. So people that believed in us 6 months ago and took the time and the effort to participate in our Tribe event will start benefiting because their DACs will already have more mining power than someone that enters right now. And that said, whomever enters and creates a DAC with a lot of transactions going on will also benefit. So we are inviting everybody to come and